Is under arrest for a child sex crime, and Joplin gets public input on transportation needs. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, authorities arrest a former Carl Junction teacher for a child sex crime. Plus, the city of Joplin invites the community to weigh in on the future of public transportation. And a local utility company offers assistance programs during the winter months.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A former Carl Junction school teacher is under arrest for a child sex crime. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. In a news release tonight, the police chief says authorities have arrested former Carl Junction teacher Craig S. Smith on charges of possessing child pornography and stalking. Police say forensic analysis led to the discovery of numerous images of child pornography on Smith's school-issued electronic devices. The last report this evening, Smith was in custody and charges were under review by the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office. In the release, CJ Police Chief Mark McCall says, quote, "The stalking charge is based on a pattern of concerning behavior directed toward a minor student over the last several years." The chief makes point to note the department has not released any images of the minor victim. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, we got a little bit warmer for us today. We got into the mid-50s. 54 was our high, and we're going to see similar numbers once again as we go into Friday. 32 is where we started, 44, 10 degrees above our average high. Not near as cold out there. Temperatures were mainly sitting mid to upper 30s to near 40 degrees. We're not really going to drop off much more for us tonight. We have strong southerly winds. They're going to keep our temperatures up. In fact, we'll go into the mid-50s tomorrow. We are going to be tracking some showers, mainly along and south of I-44. But here we go, Friday night, Arctic front slams in. We drop into the mid-20s. And on Saturday, we just don't really go anywhere as we get into the afternoon hours. Winds are going to be strong. We're going to have winds gusting 30 upwards to 40 miles per hour at times during the daytime hours tomorrow. We're going to talk more about the changes here in just a bit.
See you soon. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization held a policy board public meeting today at Joplin City Hall. During the meeting, they discussed several key elements to improve the city's transportation system. However, one crucial issue they're working on is getting the community more involved. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has that story.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I think the sidewalks need to be redone all the time.
Naomi is an unhoused resident in Joplin. She spends a lot of time on her feet. She says it would be nicer if her commute could be a lot smoother.
The sidewalks are horrible, and I've fallen a couple of times on Jackson.
Robert Lilly is a transportation planner at Joplin City Hall. He says he wants the community's input on more accessible transportation. He says one way he's doing this is digitally.
We will be doing Teams meetings so that if someone can't come to the public meeting, they can log on to Teams.
And he says participants get real-time feedback.
And there'll be sections designated that we stop and we take some of the questions that we receive from the online participants.
He says it helps people just like Naomi.
That maybe some of the populations that aren't usually engaged in that have the opportunity to meet with us and give us their input.
And of course, everyone else.
It does encompass lots of things: surface transportation, public transportation, active transportation. So anyone who's a bike or pet enthusiast.
Although Naomi may have her struggle, she says everything else is on the bright side.
But other than that, I don't have any other complaint.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, he says Joplin is not responsible for every road in Joplin. Some roads are MoDOT's responsibility. Some Kansas shoppers could see an increase on their bill for credit card purchases. That's because of a new law this month allowing Kansas merchants, including retail stores, restaurants, and more, to add a surcharge for credit card transactions. The owner of Red's House BBQ in Columbus says he doesn't have any plans to implement the surcharge at his business, but businesses that do have to provide clear notice of this before the sale is made. 4% is the maximum surcharge fee allowed. The restaurant owner's reason for not implementing the surcharge: he wants to keep costs affordable for people in the community.
Being a new starting business, I mean, I know you're supposed to pinch pennies and you're supposed to budget this and budget that, but I don't know, I'm just a community person.
Surcharges for debit cards are still illegal in Kansas and all 50 states. As winter temps stick around, your utility bill could see a spike. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, natural gas usage is up compared to this time last year. Demand exceeds supply, putting some pressure on prices. Local utility provider Spire wants you to be aware of assistance programs available to people in Southwest Missouri.
Never disqualify yourself, or again, as Molly mentioned, feel embarrassed about reaching out. We all we're not unfamiliar with hard times, and we never know what's around the corner.
For people in need of assistance, well, you can call 211 to find out what programs are available for you. Lawmakers in Missouri make a push for DNA testing in missing person cases. That story's coming up. And later, road crews in one Arkansas city look to fill in some road hazards. We'll explain. The Biden administration is expressing optimism the fragile Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal will hold, setting the stage for the first hostages to be released Sunday as planned. A key Israeli vote on the plan has been postponed until tomorrow after the country's prime minister accused Hamas of reneging on part of that agreement. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Israel's cabinet is set to meet Friday to vote on the ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas, expected to begin Sunday. Demonstrators gathered in Tel Aviv late into the night calling on Israel to seal the deal. Among them, Gil Dickman, who says his cousin was killed while held by Hamas in Gaza.
The deal that we're having is the same deal that we had on the table in May. The only thing that's changed is that some of the hostages were killed in captivity, just like my cousin.
Palestinians displaced by 15 months of war expressed cautious optimism.
We've been through this several times. It's not the first time, and we hope it will be the last one.
The first phase of the deal, brokered by Qatar, Egypt, and the U.S., includes a 6-week ceasefire and a series of swaps of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. For now, Israel's bombing in Gaza has not stopped. Israeli airstrikes have killed more than 80 people in the last 24 hours, according to Hamas officials. This attack, captured by our CBS News team in Gaza, hit a mosque.
It's going to take tremendous effort.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he remains confident the long-awaited ceasefire will soon begin.
It's not exactly surprising that in a negotiation that has been this challenging and this fraught, you may get a loose end. We're tying up that loose end as we speak.
The agreement also includes a surge of aid into Gaza to ease the ongoing humanitarian crisis. Its implementation will happen under the incoming Trump administration. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Families of Israeli hostages, released hostages, community leaders and supporters plan to hold a rally this Sunday on the National Mall to emphasize the urgency of bringing every hostage home. Director David Lynch has died. Lynch was known for his unique and surrealistic films and TV shows, including Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks. His first feature film was the cult classic Eraserhead, which he followed up with the commercial hit The Elephant Man. Lynch's family confirmed his death via his official Facebook page, but did not provide a cause. He was 78 years old. Some Missouri legislators want to change the laws pertaining to missing persons and DNA testing. A bill would require information on all missing persons to be entered into a database known as Name Us. Name Us stores identifiers such as DNA, dental records, and fingerprints. Before former Missouri Governor Mike Parson left office, $1.5 million had been earmarked in the state budget to assist in testing and identifying remains.
Step one was finding which cases we had that qualified for that, and step two is there any type of evidence that they can use to get a DNA sample from to further that technology to use to identify them.
There has been and continues to be bipartisanship support for the legislation in the Show Me State. A little bit later, the Miami Public Library welcomes book lovers out to celebrate literacy and Dolly Parton.
Plus, we have Arctic Air, which is going to be returning. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, warmer for us today. Really not a bad day. Temperatures went into the mid-50s, about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Great shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, it's Thursday. Thursday means the drought tracker updates. Of course, just about 4 months ago, we were in extreme drought, and we're looking pretty good. We still got a lot of snow on the ground, a lot of areas, but dry. Still a little bit of a moderate drought, which kicks in southwestern Missouri, but overall, we're doing pretty good. All right, let's go outside. Temperatures 41 in Cassville, 30 in Miami, 40 in Chanute, 39 in Lamar. But overall, we're looking pretty good. We're not going to drop off much more as we go through the overnight hours. Here's why. We have south winds kind of kicking in 5 to 10. These are really going to increase late tonight into tomorrow. We're going to have winds gusting 30 upwards to 40 miles per hour. Here comes an Arctic front and works in right about 9-10 p.m. Now behind the front, we get northerly winds, but still windy on Saturday. So this will give us low wind chill factors with that Arctic air, which is going to work in. All right, we have clear skies. Nothing really going on here. Here's our next little wave. You can see a few showers down through parts of Arizona. Here's the Arctic air up toward Edmonton. So these two will kind of kick out together. Not much in the way of moisture, but a lot of cold air is going to head toward us. Let's go through time. Tonight we kind of hang mainly into the mid to upper 30s. Clouds increase through the morning. We get into low to mid 50s by noon. I think most of us will top out 55, 56 degrees, maybe 57. Look south of I-44. There are going to be some showers, hit and miss. If you live north of I-44, mainly dry. Showers kind of skirt along I-44, and then we'll get our Arctic front that drives through tomorrow night. So behind it, we drop into the mid-20s Saturday morning. All day Saturday, clouds, flurries, temperatures really don't go anywhere. Upper 20s to near 30. We clear out Saturday night and our temperatures plummet down into the mid-teens for overnight lows. All right, first off, day planner on your Friday. 41 to start, 54 by noon. Few showers, mainly south of I-44, high temp 56. Arctic air sticks around on Sunday. Mid-20s, overnight lows getting down near 10. Monday, clouds, maybe a snow shower, mid-20s once again. Finally, by Tuesday, we get back into the mid-30s. By Wednesday, we get near 40, but then here we go. Here's our next bigger storm system. It's going to track out. This could be rain, this could be ice, this could be snow, this could be everything. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that, but still about 6 days away. 56 for you tomorrow, 30. That's it on Saturday. 15 Saturday night, 25 on Sunday, near 10 Sunday night and Monday night, and then that wintry mix possible next Thursday.
Gonna snuggle up with a hot drink and maybe a pot of chili and watch some football.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cold weekend.
Going to stay inside though. Thanks, Doug. After the recent winter storm, drivers in Arkansas are going to see melting ice and snow on the roadways, but road workers say that can cause another issue for drivers. That would be potholes. Maya Ellison has more on Little Rock's efforts to patch up that city one pothole at a time.
Potholes are a year-round concern. We do regular pothole maintenance all the time.
But it's after the recent winter storm when RDOT's Dave Parker says they become a major bump in the road.
As it melts, it is providing a lot of moisture into the cracks of the asphalt, and then the freeze-thaw cycle at night versus the day is definitely causing deterioration of the streets.
Eric Petty with Little Rock Public Works says repairs started Monday. His team spent the day searching for potholes that could cause problems. After that comes the sand and salt.
To put into perspective, I'm 5'3", and what you see behind me is a 12-foot, 2-part sand salt mixture, the first step into the pothole filling process. This is what's used to melt the ice and snow on the road. And once the ice and snow is cleared off of the road, then we make it to step 2. Using a cold asphalt mixture, this is what's used to begin the pothole filling process.
This material actually sets up by compression as opposed to cooling down. So when we put this in, we'll remove all the loose asphalt.
Heated to about 125 degrees, this is how they fill the gaps. From there, the Public Works team levels it out and compacts it.
And that helps set the material up where it'll hold in the pothole.
Using a quick patch method is convenient for drivers and allows crews to move quickly. It's a project that takes time, and that's why crews need your help. Both city and state officials encourage drivers to report any potholes they encounter.
So it's kind of a two-way street, if you will, no pun intended, but we try to patch and repair everything we can.
The city spends about $5 to $6 million on supplies and equipment to keep drivers safe. Still ahead, Carl Junction High School hires a new softball head coach, and Missouri Southern basketball hosts Central Oklahoma. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Labette County High School has produced plenty of standout athletes over the years, and this afternoon the school record holder in the 300-meter hurdles signs to continue her academic and athletic career at Missouri Southern. Labette County High School senior Landry O'Brien signs this afternoon to officially commit to Missouri Southern track and field. O'Brien is a multi-sport athlete for the Grizzlies. She actually began her high school career at Oklahoma Union, and the future Lion looks back fondly on her time at Labette County.
I love the switch. Oklahoma Union was a great school, but it was really small, and I loved going to a bigger school, which Labette's not huge, but it is a 4A compared to a 2A, and I loved the coaches. The coaches were great. Volmer has been great. I've just improved so much in all my sports and as a person and academically. I loved Labette a lot. It was a good switch.
Carl Junction has a new leader for its softball program, and it's a name that might be familiar to the Bulldog faithful. Carl Junction High School announces today that Mandy Bauer is the new head coach of the Lady Bulldog softball team. Bauer's a 1997 graduate of CJ. She served as the interim head coach of the softball team this past season. In a press release, Bauer says, quote, "There are exciting changes ahead that'll make being a part of the Carl Junction softball team a rewarding experience for our athletes, and CJ plans to open its new softball stadium for the 2025 fall season." Well, Missouri Southern men's and women's basketball are back in Joplin this evening. Both of those teams are coming off a loss last time out. Missouri Southern hosting Central Oklahoma tonight. The Lions are looking to avenge their loss from over the weekend. We pick it up in the first quarter. That's when Mackenzie Hart gets things started with a step-back three. That's good. Lions lead by 5 at that point. A little later in the half, Southern gets some good minutes from a local product, Grace Frazier. The freshman gets the layup to go down. Next possession, here's Frazier attacking the rim again, and another 2 points from her. She's not finished. The former Diamond Wildcat. We go ahead to the second half. Frazier finds McKenna Yoakley. She gets the easy bucket to go. Southern starts to pull away. A little later on, Grace Frazier pulls up from 3 off the dribble, and she connects. Frazier scores a career-high 12 points for the Lions this evening. We go ahead to the fourth quarter. Here's Mackenzie Hart again creating some space. This time in the lane, she scores. She leads the team with 14 points tonight. And Missouri Southern bounces back. Lions beat the Broncos 68-52.
The effort was so good, and we just kind of fed off each other as far as our energy and our effort, especially on the defensive end. And then offensively, I thought we did some positive things. Shot the ball fairly well, didn't shoot it well from the 3, but we got to the basket a lot and created some second, third opportunities by picking up loose balls. We got a lot of the 50-50 balls, which in a basketball game, those are huge.
Missouri Southern men's basketball takes the floor tonight. The Lions facing a very talented Central Oklahoma team. We start early in the first half. Martin Messinas makes a really tough shot to go on the run. That gives the Lions a 1-point lead. A few minutes later, Southern attacks the basket. Nice pass from Tyreek Brooks to Tyrone Wright, and he finishes with the slam. Next Lion possession, here's Tyreek Jackson firing away a 3-ball, and he buries it. That puts Southern up by 4. UCO has to call a timeout. The Lions offense continues to show out in the first half. Tyrone Wright elevates for his second dunk of the night, and he wouldn't be finished. That keeps the crowd fired up. Then Wright hangs around the paint, goes up and under, and adds to his point total. Tyrone Wright finishes with 14 points on the evening, and Missouri Southern goes on to get a much-needed conference win. Lions beat UCO 77-71. Obviously, every win that you get is much needed, but for both Lions teams coming off a loss last time out, definitely wanted to get a victory tonight, and they get it done.
And in front of the home fans.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. The Miami Public Library invited the public out to celebrate literacy and American icon Dolly Parton this afternoon. The Dolly Party kicked off a month-long celebration of the beloved country singer and her contributions to children's literacy. Storytellers were on hand, as well as a variety of games, songs, and plenty of snacks and with the fellow book lovers.
Very excited. It's my first time. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library is a big part of Ottawa County, so we like to celebrate this amazing program and share it with all the families in Ottawa County.
Since 1995, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library has donated more than 200 million books to promote children's literacy. You heard that correctly, 200 million. If you didn't already love Dolly Parton, then why wouldn't you? You certainly should now, right?
Very true.
The weather is a lot to like tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, tomorrow looks pretty good. It's going to be 56 degrees. Now, it's going to be very windy. We're going to have winds gusting near 40 miles per hour. Arctic front tomorrow night, so with it, a few random showers, and then cold and windy Saturday. It gets worse Sunday and on Monday.
Final sports notes.
In a battle of the two best teams in the NBA, the Thunder beat the Cavs by 20. They led by as much as 42 in that game.
Yeah, that was a battle of heavyweights. I expected it to be closer than that. 20-point
me
win.
too.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.